že bych сказать, что компьютерное глубинное видение это extremely complex science, and we'd like to make it very simple. And we decided to create camera available for everyone. So no worries if it will be working with your system or not. Camera is fully agnostic on operating system and fully agnostic on the hardware. So technically saying, if your machine XYZ can fly with the USB and it is capable to compute a little bit, it can fly with our camera. So thank you for your question. So again, thank you very much for coming here for a session with Intel. My name is Miro. We are very small, relatively small, tiny business unit in Intel. We are from a startup from Israel. Yeah, the design we running for computer vision is based on internal acceleration of all vision processes inside of the camera. And this is another part to my answer to the question that camera is not causing any payload to the system. So no problem to run on Windows 7, Windows XP with Linux. It simply doesn't matter. We are roughly 500 people located in Israel and in California. And our job is a sensification of computing. So we helping to computers to see, to listen, to understand the physical processes around the computing environment. And in the financial verticals, you can utilize them in understanding of the environment inside of the bank office, inside of the and around the ATM machine. And this will be track of my presentation here. So, what does it mean, 3D sensing? Yes, 3D sensing is definitely transforming the world. And for Intel itself, we are over $70 billion big business. Computer vision is extremely important for us. Yeah? It's driving many activities inside of our corporation. And I did my best to emphasize some specific areas to bring to your attention, which you can utilize in your operations in the financial verticals and maybe in retail. First one is probably facial authentication. We have plenty of live, real projects inside of Russian market. Second one is related to robotics. Robots is system based on a computer vision as well. You need to see, you need to feel, and our solutions are helping to make it. If your camera can see in a 3D, as understanding the structure of the object, you can very efficiently use it to measure the system and understand the volumetric features. And the last one, very interesting, is actually detracking. So ATM usually an example is doing nothing all the day, it's just dispensing some money, and you can use it for something else because it still have a loss of a computational power. So camera in the ATM can look into environment around the ATM machine inside of the bank office, and we have plenty of projects around the world when banks are observing the live situation in the bank. They can analyze the security risks. Yeah? Our camera can count the number of people very precisely. Our camera can analyze the postures of the body. Yeah? So there's a different posture of someone who is coming with a serious attention to the bank, or someone who is coming with some maybe bad activities. So there's a large field and vast field of potential scenarios. So to summarize briefly, set of our activities is a sanification of computing. So our division is running strictly based on the law of robotic and machine learning processes. If you can sense the physical reality, you're collecting the data about the vision, sound, maybe temperature and pressure. It can help the system to understand the reality. And if I have a valid data, they're helping me in understanding, then your system can decide in the right way what interaction to make. Yeah? If I be the robot and I can see in my camera there's a stairs, I know then I need to step. Yeah? Analogy into your system is, if you apply computer vision in a system, you can, with a very high level of precision and security, decide if you will grant the access to the financial services for client or not. Yeah? So this is a similar analogy. So vision and understanding is a cornerstone, is helping with the interaction. Because you can store all data all the time and you're using it in interaction, the millions of interactions every day with your clients, you can improve your algorithms, because you can analyze this algorithm, you can put it into like Blender, in a supercomputer, look in it. There's plenty of companies, especially here in Russia, with a very high level of acumen how to do it, and you can utilize all these features with a big level of confidence. Interesting also is that the size of a future business with the depth sensing and the computer vision is expected to reach over $34 billion by 2023. So this is extremely important for all of us to, play the leading role in this vertical. So what is the advantage? What does it mean using depth data? So I will give you an analogy. Do you know Darwinian theory of evolution? I believe so. If you're talking with the vendors of the cameras, you can listen to beautiful stories. We have a laser-based cameras and this is fantastic, etc., etc., etc. But these cameras are usually fairly expensive. There's one big disadvantage of these laser-based systems. They can never operate on the direct sunshine, and they operate very badly if there's just a little bit of sunshine coming through the window. And bang ATM machine must be running 100%, must be very stable. And we believe in Intel that if you will mimic the functions of invented by nature, and we're using in our computer vision systems technology called stereoscopic matching. This is the same technology as using all human beings on this planet and all animals. And if you're looking around the planet, you will never spot any animal, any species with a one eye. It doesn't exist. Only in Greek mythology, Cyclops has one eye and he's gone. So it's proven by nature that if you build a camera based on the stereoscopic matching vision, which is the same algorithm as a human head, it's the most efficient and it's very robust. And such camera is never suffering with too much of light, too light conditions, big gradients between the darkness and light. This camera can glaze into the sun, can glaze into the darkness, and is operated under any condition. And this is something what you need in your services, because your client need to feel that your business is serious. Everything is running as it should be. Alright? So this is one of the reasons why for us, for Intel, stereoscopic matching vision is a winning technology, and we would like to support it also over the time in the future. So if I can measure depth data, so I can understand the depth distance, I can run volumetric and size measurement, I can learn if there's any obstacle in the path of my movement, if I'm the robot or some other device, and it also helps me recognize the objects. It's much better to see object in a 3D than to see the object just as a plain information of a few pixels. So this is where this technology is helping very significantly. And I mentioned that there are some cameras based on the laser principles. We do them as well, but they are not so much useful for usage in the financial services because of the limitation, because of the sun. If there are here companies interested in a very high level of security, typically airport gateways for entering the country using the biometric of your passport, this is where we're playing the leading role. We have a cameras based on a structured light called SR300. But as I said, camera can operate on the direct sunshine, camera can operate in a closed housing, and you will see these cameras in the airport. Also, the reach of the camera is only 1 meter, because the laser is limited in the performance, not to damage human side. Second technology is based on a stereo matching. So stereo matching is exactly the same algorithm as is in your forehead, in your brain, how you're processing vision between your left and right eye. And this technology is exactly implemented in our camera. All this computing process is happening inside of our device, so it's not causing any payload to the platform. So PC basically does nothing, we're just streaming the data from the camera. We also do, probably not useful for financial services, also tracking modules, which can be used complementary with our cameras. If you imagine the drone needs to fly, needs to understand its position and dynamics of the movement, we have a tracking modules with our cameras, and leading tracking devices are used by top 1 drone manufacturers. So what is coming from Intel? We are more than a decade on the market. We shipped millions of cameras. We have a very strong footprint in these industries. We have two types of products. We have something what I would say, we have a camera on the shelf. You can take it from an Intel distributor. It's a very small device. You can put it into a digital signage system to the ATM and connect it to the internal pay system. But if you're looking for some specific deep level of integration, we have very small components, almost very tiny. The camera can be completely hidden in the system, even not visible to the client. So this is absolutely your game, what level of integration you can ask your vendor to deliver to your needs and to your expectations. So this is a slide just summarizing these options. So you can have again the camera which is looking like a traditional web camera, but someone who is interested into very tight level of integration, he can use the modules in the middle of the screen. And all these cameras are part of this magic chip called vision processing unit. And this processing unit is processing all the vision system. So the camera is taking, for those, there are engineers here, less than 3 watts, and is not causing any payload to the system. So it doesn't matter if it was your host, might be the PC, might be the smartphone, iPad, iPhone, operating system Android, Windows, Linux, doesn't matter. Yeah? It's absolutely agnostic. So some examples from the real world, yeah, where you can utilize technology of depth vision and computer robotics. So obviously robots, they need to see, and people have to see that the robot looks exactly like the human. You can see in all the movies, all the companies making the robots, they try to make the robot looking like humanoid. And that's why also our cameras, if you're looking, the distance between the eyes on the camera are exactly the same distance as your eyes on a human head. Camera can help you with the recognition analytics. So typical cases are the access systems to the ATMs in the banking financial systems, gateways to the airports, gateway to the government terminals. So this all can help you. Because camera is understanding the structure of your face in the 3D, you can't spoof the system with a picture of something. It's not possible basically. Yeah, because cameras need to understand the structure of your face, and just depends what grade of a security you're expecting from this solution to get implemented in your platform. So I mentioned companies making the drones. 3D scanning is very popular. We have a solutions for virtual reality, and companies in logistic businesses using our cameras to measure the boxes for transportation, which is saving lots of the time for them. So you can start today. Camera software is an open source project, so we're not charging you for any software for anything. And because this is open source, you can make drivers for any operating system. And if you make own operating system today, you can create drivers for that. So this is on this slide. Everything is available, and we have very strong ecosystem of companies handling with the cameras. I'd like to highlight one fact. The majority of the software houses is actually coming from Russia. Yeah, so there's a plenty of companies from Moscow, from Peter, and they do lots of solutions from facial identification, 3D scanning, healthcare solutions, security, you can call it, there's a plenty of them. In the presentation is a very simple table when you can see what are the basic features of a camera. In the case for financial vertical services, retail, your choice should be typically D415 or D435 camera. They are very compact. Their operational range is almost from 0 to, let's say, 5-6 meters. And they should definitely meet your expectations. If there's someone who's looking for really like sort of like military grade of a security, and he is looking for millimeter precision scanning the human face, then there's a camera called SR305. So this is what it goes for products. On the further slides there are some more technical details, but I believe it will be hard to remember them. So this is a camera with a structured light for very precise scanning of a human face. And then you have a stereoscopic cameras typically used in the banking systems for interaction with the humans and the daily interaction in the bank. And we're almost done. So we are at the end of my presentation. So I will switch back to Russian. So vaše spasiba, že by přichodili na prezentaci Intel. V samom konci mojej prezentaci já bych chtěl všech приглашать na Intel Experience Day v Moskvě. который будет концом октября. Вы можете спрашивать что-нибудь об Intel, использовать нашу технику здесь. Но и в самом конце я хотел бы сказать, что мы говорим по-русски. Я говорю по-русски плохо, but в нашей команде несколько инженеров, которые говорят по-русски. Когда у вас вопросы о камерах глубинного зрения, не боитесь спрашивать, позвоните в Intel, и наша поддержка готова. Да? Спасибо.